Trump administration taking some new steps to crack down on welfare. President Trump signing a memorandum to enforce a 1996 law that forces the sponsors of green card holders to reimburse the government for any financial or medical benefits that the immigrant may use. Here now to weigh in is the Vice President of Foreign Policy at the Heritage Foundation, James Carafano. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
So what the president did is this memorandum enforces a 23-year-old law requiring the sponsors of these green card holders to reimburse the government. 23 years this has been in place. He's just saying, hey, we're going to enforce it now.
Yeah, so it's shocking that this is news, right? This is a law that was signed by Bill Clinton, and it basically says what has always been a part of modern U.S. immigration law, which is if you are coming to the United States, you should not be a public charge. And the responsibility is both an assessment on the immigrant that's coming in, but also on their sponsor. And so actually there is a requirement in the law that if that immigrant is a public charge and they are drawing payments, that the sponsor signs on as having a a legal responsibility to reimburse the government for those costs.
And those costs can be tremendous because we can take a look at the numbers. 58% of non-citizen households were on at least one welfare program.
Yeah, and it's really important that we get this right because part of what makes America a successful immigration nation is immigrants are a net positive. And we can't have a growing public charge about bringing people in, and it costs us more money to bring in than they're bringing back to society. Now, critics are going to say, oh, but don't worry about that. Put them on welfare. You know, eventually they'll get a job and they'll pay that back. But look, we know in America when we put people on welfare, it just creates a dependence, and they don't contribute to society. So we have that problem with our own citizens. So why would we amplify that by essentially importing more people and then socializing them, never to focus on giving back, but only focus on being a public charge?
Yeah. So why do you think the intention is being drawn to this now when, as you say yourself, this was signed by President Bill Clinton way back in the day?
Well, I think there's two reasons. One is it does shift the focus to where the argument is going in terms of legal immigration reform. People who come here legally, right, to a program based on merit. Let's build a system that's designed that people that come to America are making a net contribution. And this, I think, is kind of socializing people that. So I think it's an important part of the debate. But we should also be honest, it's just good politics for the president, right? Americans don't like the unfairness of bearing the fiscal burden for immigration, and the people that support the president, they're going to see this as a commitment by him to the things that they're concerned about.
Yeah. Let's switch gears, though, and talk about this because I really want to hear the explanation for it. This Maryland jail defending their decision to release these MS-13 killers in spite of an ICE detainer. And what happened here was that there was this murder that happened of this 14-year-old girl last week. These two teenagers from El Salvador who were suspected of being in the MS-13 gang. They were arrested, charged, and then freed. So
here's the real problem here, which is, you know, why didn't they give them to ICE and then ICE could legally put them into deportation? And it's true that state and local governments don't have to help the U.S. government enforce federal immigration law. On the other hand, this is a major public safety threat to their communities. They're putting people back in their communities that are a threat to their communities. Even people who are illegal aliens in the community, they don't want that. They don't want to be victimized by MS-13.
Absolutely. So
the real issue here is really kind of working against the interests of their own people in their own communities and making them less safe.
Yeah, here's the statement. We need to include this, though, from the jail. They said a detainer is not a warrant. It's a civil detainer. It's actually a request for localities to hold inmates till ICE decides whether they want to come for them or not. And following that guidance, Prince George's County does not notify ICE. Even when these two particular teenagers made their victim, a 14-year-old girl, strip and then beat her with a baseball bat and then chopped her with a machete.
Right, and basically it's saying we don't care if we release dangerous people back into the community. That's not our problem, when they could turn them over to ICE and make the community safer. This is the same issue with sanctuary cities. You put up a sanctuary city, it's not protecting its illegal immigrants. It's a big sign that says, come here, do your crime here, because your chances of actually getting picked up and turned over to the federal government are less.
Yes, very true. It is crazy. James Carafano, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good day.